I don't know how New England reacted to Peter Schragers' mock draft yesterday. Peter, of course, works for the NFL Network, and he raised some eyebrows saying the Patriots, he had them moving up to number 4 to take perhaps a quarterback, Justin Fields. Unpatriot-like. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it's unpatriotic, and I don't think that's going to happen. When you look at the amount that San Francisco had to pay to get up to number 3,
Yeah.
Patriots are not going to be in the business of giving the 15th and then probably 2 more first rounders to go up there and get a guy who I thought Mike Lombardi was really good on his podcast this week, explaining why the grades just won't justify it on a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance if those guys are the 2 remaining. You can't just jump up there and then not have the verbiage, as Lombardi explained it, to say, okay, he grades at this level to be that level pick. He's going to be one of the top 10 players in the league. He makes everyone around him better. He requires more than one player to defend him and take him away. I just don't know if Lance and Fields are going to be those guys.
How involved is, I guess, Belichick does he ever get impatient? You know, that he's kind of seeing everybody, hey, guys are getting their quarterbacks. I don't really have my quarterback. We spent a lot of money on free agents, but we still don't have a rock-solid quarterback. Is Bill getting more impatient as he gets older?
I don't think so. I mean, he's been paralyzed since 2017 at the position. They traded Jimmy Garoppolo away, and now all they've done is kind of chase Tom Brady out of town, draft Danny Etling, draft Jarrett Stidham, sign Cam Newton, trade for Brian Hoyer. I mean, if he's impatient, he hasn't signaled it yet. And really, I think Belichick is more hardwired on the draft to kind of scoff at the rest of the league when it gets thirsty and try and be that guy who likes to buy distressed assets. So, sitting at 15, I can see him jumping down, Dan.
But you can do that when you have Tom Brady. But when you don't have Tom Brady, then you can make moves, but it still comes back to, boy, imagine if they had a really good quarterback.
I think that there, however, is some well-founded confidence bordering on arrogance of, look, we had a bad roster last year. We won 7 games with Cam. We didn't have an off season. We had actual tight ends and wide receivers that the Patriots really, and Bill, I don't think really blames himself for not staffing the rooms, but he ought to. But we add all those players and we get a bunch back on defense and we're better there. You think we're not going to win 11 games? You're out of your mind. We can put anybody back there. And that, to me, is an interesting aspect of the Patriots. Look, yeah, maybe we might have a duct tape answer at quarterback right now, but we're good enough on Sundays and at other positions to mitigate that issue that we absolutely do have.
If a quarterback is there, what are the Patriots, 15th? If a quarterback is there somehow, do you think Bill takes a quarterback?
If he's just sitting there, if Trey Lance is just sitting there, it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. I mean, when you think of all the players that the Patriots have passed on in the first rounds and later in rounds, second round picks, Lamar Jackson was sitting there at 31. They took Sony Michel. I understand why the Patriots might look at Lamar Jackson and say, look, he's got one indefensible skill in terms of his speed and his electricity as a runner, but we don't know how he projects. And, well, Lamar Jackson's been an MVP. Sony Michel is now going to be a backup running back to Damian Harris. So I think that they probably would pass and take a better player who's been pushed down the board by all those quarterbacks and wide receivers. That's what I think they would do. But I don't know if that's the right thing to do.